the Basenji, the Basset Fauve de Bretagne, the Grand Basset Griffon Vendeen, the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen, the Basset Hound, the Beagle, the Bloodhound, the Borzoi, the long-haired Dachshund, the miniature long-haired Dachshund, the smooth-haired Dachshund, the miniature smooth-haired Dachshund, the wire-haired Dachshund, the miniature wire-haired Dachshund, the Deerhound, the Finnish Spitz, the Foxhound, the Greyhound, the Hamiltonstovare, the Ibizan Hound, the Irish Wolfhound, the Norwegian Elkhound, the Otterhound, the Pharaoh Hound, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, the Saluki, the Sloughi, and the Whippet. And I hand you over now to Mr. Graham Hill, who will do the commentary on the Hound Group.
Thank you, David. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 4 days of intensive competition, we have now come to the Hound Group. The 7th and final group to be judged at Crufts 2004. Each of the owners of these breeds hoping to make that 7th slot to compete for best in show later this evening. This group of dogs, classified as hounds, are all breeds originally used for hunting, either by scent or sight. And as you look around the ring at the 29 breeds represented here today, the differences between sight hounds and scent hounds should be obvious. There were a total of 3,066 hounds present at Crufts, making a total of 3,353 entries. And all these have now been judged, leaving the 29 best of breeds here in the ring, all hoping to be declared best in group. Mr. Johnson is having the usual first appraisal of each best of breed present, before proceeding to the more detailed examination, individual examination of each of the best of breeds present in the group. The Hound Group is nearing one of the largest groups of the 7 that we have in dogs in the United Kingdom. And as you can see, the 29 breeds present can virtually completely fill the ring. The first of our hounds to be seen is the Afghan Hound. The breed had 2 judges today, one for dogs, who was Mr. Clary Cross, and the other for bitches, Mrs. Helen Ferber, who comes from Australia. This is a popular breed, and it was shown by their entry, which is the 2nd largest in the Hound Group, of 367. the Afghan Hound. Glamour in the dog world comes in many forms, but the Afghan must be in the top 10 of anybody's list. Afghan is one of the typical sight hounds of the world. And now we move to the table where we see the first of the table breeds in the hound group, the Basenji. The breed judge today was Mrs. Elaine Grayson. And from her entry of 69, she selected this bitch as her best of breed. The Basenji, known for centuries in Central Africa and the Congo, now called Zaire, used by the natives to hunt game when silence is useful. The Basenji. This one's exhibit number is 18943. Again on the table we see the Basset Fauve de Bretagne. Breed judge was Mr. Horst Kliebenstein from Germany, and from his entry of 60 he selected this bitch for best of breed, exhibit number 19004. The Basset Fauve de Bretagne, as the name implies, comes from France. And this breed is a recent arrival in Britain, but it is already gaining in popularity due to their lively and friendly manner. The dog of handy size and suitable for the small house and garden. The Basset Fauve de Bretagne. This breed is a tough little character and ready for all the exercise he is given. He is ready and very able to chase and catch any rabbit unwise enough to loiter in his path. Now back onto the floor of the ring we have the Grand Basset Griffon Vendeen. Another breed judged by Mr. Horst Kliebenstein from Germany. This is a bitch, and exhibit number 19030. The breed arrived in Britain from France in 1990. The Grand, as the breed is affectionately known, is described as low to the ground, hence the Basset in his full name. The Grand Basset Griffon Vendeen. This breed has a reputation for being a canine escapologist and has a tendency to be hard of hearing when it suits him. And next on the table we have the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen. The judge was Mr. Richard Gilbert, and he selected this dog for best of breed, whose exhibit number is 19096. The name Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen must be one of the longest names of the breed, understandably and affectionately shortened to PBGV. Though the full name does provide a clearer description of the breed. Petit, small; Basset, low to the ground; Griffon, rough-coated; Vendeen, origin from Vendeen area of France. The Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen. This is a breed with a happy, extrovert temperament and well suited to a healthy, fun-loving family. And next we see the Basset Hound. breed was judged by Mr. Ron White, and from his entry of 167, he selected this male, exhibit number 19249. The Basset, originally from the continent, was reputedly bred by monks in France in the Middle Ages to hunt in heavy cover, and is another of the scent hounds in the group. Standing at around 15 inches at the shoulder, but weighs in at some 70 pounds, so he can present quite a problem. He has to be picked up to be put in the back of a hatchback. That's the Basset Hound. The Basset Hound is a real family dog who's happy hunting over the moors or lying by the fireside. We return to the table where we see the Beagle. The breed was judged by Mrs. June Froggatt. She received an entry of 197 and selected this bitch for her best of breed, whose exhibit number is 19434. This is one of the most popular of the hounds and is essentially a British dog, and one of the oldest of the hounds known to these shores. A breed which is sturdy, bold and active, the very essence of quality having an equable and merry temperament. This is the Beagle. This was a breed originally bred to hunt small game, especially hare with men on foot. A dog which is easy to keep clean, he can get as muddy as he likes, but cleans up with a sponge and water, and dries off his short, dense coat in a trice. And next we have the Bloodhound. Mrs. Pauline Gibbs was the breed judge today, and she received an entry of 37, from which she selected this bitch for best of breed. Her exhibit number is 19521. This is one of the most notable of the scent hounds. It's been used to assist in locating lost persons, tracking escaped felons, and has been featured in many a detective story. The home country of the breed is Belgium, and it is probable that they were brought to Britain by the Normans in 1066. The Bloodhound, ladies and gentlemen. The Bloodhound is a dog of great size and imposing dignity, and must be one of the easiest of our hound breeds to recognise, even by the least doggy of people. And next we see the Borzoi. The breed was judged by Mrs. Brenda Steers, and from her entry of 150 she selected this male, whose exhibit number is 19541. This breed is the aristocrat of the hounds, originating in Russia, where they were bred for hunting small game and more especially wolves. The Borzoi, also known as the Russian Wolfhound, is still built on the lines of speed and grace. In fact, Borzoi in Russian implies swift. The Borzoi. This breed first came into Britain in the mid-1800s and were gifts from the Tsar of all the Russias to Queen Alexandra. The Borzoi is of striking quality, sensitive, alert and aloof. Now back to the table, we have the long-haired Dachshund. Mrs. Kath Bethel was the breed judge today, and she received an entry of 106, from which she selected this male for best of breed, and his exhibit number is 19740. There are 6 varieties of Dachshund. They're dependent on size and coat. This is the first to be seen, the long-haired Dachshund, a native of Germany, as with all the Dachshund varieties. How or when the long-haired variety came into existence is unknown. The long-haired Dachshund. It is known, however, that the breed was recognized as a distinct variety in Germany as long ago as the 1820. Originally bred for badger hunting, the long and thick, soft hair protects it against thorns and enables it to endure both cold and heat, and is rainproof. And next on the table we see the miniature long-haired Dachshund. The breed was judged by Mr. Jeff Crawford, and he received an entry of 181. His best of breed is a bitch, and her exhibit number is 19853. These miniatures are in many respects similar to the standard long-haired Dachshund, with the obvious exception of size, and in fact should not exceed 11 pounds in weight. The miniature long-haired Dachshund. It is said that the larger or standard sizes were used for pursuing the quarry above ground, with the smaller miniature being used to go back to ground or to drive the quarry out and then prevent them from getting back to their earths. A miniature, despite its size, should be alert, strong, active and highly intelligent. The next variety of Dachshund we see is the standard smooth-haired Dachshund, the best known of the Dachshunds. The breed was judged by Mrs. Zena Thorne Andrews, and she received an entry of 86, from which she selected this male as best of breed, and his exhibit number is 19996. Being the first and foremost a sporting dog, the smooth Dachshund is remarkably versatile, being equally adaptable as a house pet. His smooth coat is impervious to rain and wind. The smooth-haired Dachshund. This hound has a temperament and acute intelligence, making this breed an ideal companion. Now we move on to the miniature variety of the smooth, the miniature smooth-haired Dachshund. This was another breed judged today by Mr. Horst Kliebenstein from Germany, And he selected this male for best of breed from an entry of 131. His exhibit number is 20043. This little fella is identical in conformation to the larger standard smooth, but with the exception of size and weight. The miniature smooth-haired Dachshund. The miniature smooth-haired Dachshund also has the short, dense and smooth coat with the same qualities of courage, intelligence, gameness and activity as his larger brother the standard. And now we move on to the wire-haired Dachshund. The breed was judged by Mrs. Lorraine Coxon, and from her entry of 98, she remade this male a best of breed. His exhibit number is 20199. The wire-haired Dachshund first came to Britain in 1888. And as the name implies, the wire-head variety should carry a dense, hard, close-lying coat, which is harsh and wiry to the touch. The head is made even more attractive with the furnishings of bushy eyebrows and bearded chin. Ladies and gentlemen, the wire-head Dachshund. This is a hardy, sportsman-like looking hound with all the temperament characteristics of the other Dachshund varieties. And now we move to the miniature wire-haired Dachshund. The breed was judged by Mr. Len Hammond. From his entry of 147, he selected this bitch for best of breed. Her exhibit number is 20251. The last but by no means least of our Dachshund varieties to be seen. The miniature wire-haired Dachshund has the same coat and look as the larger standard wire, and despite the size is well able to fulfill its purpose, to hunt foxes, otters and badgers. The miniature wire-haired Dachshund. The name Dachshund in all the varieties is derived from the word Dax, meaning badger, and Hund, dog. In other words, badger dog. Now back to the floor of the ring where we see the Deerhound. Dr. Goran Bodegard was the breed judge, and he received an entry of 125, from which he selected this bitch for best of breed. Her exhibit number is 20464. This breed was known at one time as the Scottish Deerhound. Mystery surrounds the origin of the breed, but there are reasons for thinking that the Deerhound may have been taken to Scotland by the Phoenician traders. The Deerhound. Dignity and humour, affection and loyalty all play their part in his temperament, and he delights in exercise, a hound that you can expect to find curled up in the front of a log fire in a baronial hall. And now we see the Finnish Spitz, a breed judged today by Mr. Michael Quinney. The exhibit number of this best of breed is 20499, and she's a bitch, and the breed received an entry of 50. Originally the Finnish Spitz was used to track larger game such as bear and elk, but is now used to seek out game birds such as black grouse. Here we have the Finnish Spitz. The Finnish Spitz is the national dog of Finland, with the written breed standard going back as far as 1812. And there are a number of Finnish national patriotic songs included, which include the mention of the breed. Now we have the Foxhound, another breed judged today by Dr. Goran Bodegard. There was an entry of 9, and he selected this bitch as best of breed, whose exhibit number is 20541. The origin of the Foxhound dates back to approximately the 13th century, when fox hunting began to supersede stag hunting. It was found necessary to breed a faster type of hound, and so the Foxhound, as we know it, evolved. The Foxhound. By disposition, the Foxhound is affectionate and faithful, and not aggressive. A powerful, clean-cut hound, having stamina and endurance, with a natural ability to hunt. Next we see the Greyhound. The breed was judged by Mrs. Elaine Newsham, and she selected this bitch for best of breed, whose exhibit number is 20575. There was a breed entry of 55. This is the prototype of the so-called sight hound. The Greyhound is well known to many people for its racing ability. The show Greyhound is somewhat bigger than his racing cousin, but has the same insatiable instinct to chase small game. Here we see the Greyhound. Some say that the Greyhound could have its origin in the Middle East. In fact, drawings of Greyhound-type dogs have been discovered in the ancient Egyptian tombs, dating back as long ago as 4000 BC. And now we move on to the Hamiltonstovare. The breed was judged by Mrs. Marianne Nixon, and she selected this dog for best of breed, whose exhibit number is 20613, from an entry of 32. This handsome, stylish hound comes from Sweden, where he is the most popular of the hound breeds. The Hamiltonstovare gets his name from Count Hamilton, who created the breed in the late 1800s. Here we see the Hamiltonstovare. The Hamilton is a hunting dog which is not used in packs but does hunt alone. A dog who likes to work and makes a happy, easygoing, friendly companion. And next to be seen by Mr. Johnson is the Ibizan Hound, a breed judged by Mrs. Vanda Stevenson. Best of breed is a male and his exhibit number is 20626. There was a breed entry of 24. The Ibizan Hound is a typical Mediterranean hound depicted on Egyptian tombs and pottery since time immemorial. The breed takes its name from the island of Ibiza and probably arrived there by way of the early trading ships. Here we see the Ibizan Hound. This breed has a great ability to jump and has the reputation for being a renowned escapologist, a controlled hunter with an ability to retrieve. He's devoted to his owner and can be aloof with strangers. And now we move on to one of the largest in the hound group, the Irish Wolfhound. The breed judge today was Miss Elizabeth Murphy, who comes from Era. This one is a male and exhibit number 20703. Mrs. Murphy received an entry of 138. In spite of his size, the Irish Wolfhound is one of the most gentle dogs. Originating in Ireland to hunt wolves, the breed almost died out in the early 1800s following the killing of the last wolf and the Great Famine of Ireland. Here we have the Irish Wolfhound. There was a restoration of the breed, and by 1885 a breed club had been formed. This is a delightful breed, but certainly not to be taken on lightly. And now we have the Norwegian Elkhound. The breed judge was Mr. Alec Mackenzie. This is a bitch and exhibit number 20861. There was a breed entry of 105. As the name implies, the breed stems from Norway. There's evidence of the breed dating back to the Stone Age. This is a very solid dog for a hound, needing to be able to cope with his traditional prey, the elk. This is the Norwegian Elkhound. A breed of Spitz type with prick ears and curly tail is a friendly dog with a loud voice which can act as a deterrent to unwanted visitors. Now we go to the Otterhound. Another breed judged today by Mrs. Zena Thorne Andrews, and from her entry of 34 she made this male best of breed, and his exhibit number is 20877. The Otterhound is a kindly fellow with a typical baying call which he can use to good effect, especially when he needs to indicate that he has found the scent of a prey that is of interest to him. Here we have the Otterhound. Truly large dog with a rugged appearance. His double coat is extremely weather resistant. The Otterhound is a dog for the energetic, but not for the house proud. He is amiable and of even temperament. Now we see the Pharaoh Hound. The breed judge was Mrs. Marianne Nixon. she made this bitch best of breed, whose exhibit number is 20920. There was a breed entry of 34. The Pharaoh Hound is a breed that can be easily recognized in the paintings and pottery of the tombs of ancient Egypt. A breed which is alert, intelligent, affectionate and playful. The Pharaoh Hound. As his name implies, was venerated by the Pharaoh of Egypt, a real working hound who has the ability to hunt by scent and sight. His short coat is easy to maintain in prime condition. And now we see the Rhodesian Ridgeback. Mrs. Mary Adams was the breed judge today, and from her entry of 188 she selected this bitch for best of breed, whose exhibit number is 20955. The Ridgeback is an agile dog, powerful and speedy. His original purpose in Rhodesia, now called Zimbabwe, was assisting big game hunters in the pursuit of their quarry, which often included lion. The Rhodesian Ridgeback. The ridge of hair growing the wrong way down its spine is a feature of the breed, and there are two crowns either side of the ridge, just behind the shoulders. He's an excellent family dog, affectionate, loyal, and protective of his family. And next to be examined by Mr. Johnson is the Saluki. The breed was judged by Mr. Roy Goodby, and he selected this bitch as best of breed, whose exhibit number is 21206. There was a breed entry of 164. The Saluki is a graceful, dignified dog, which has always been much prized possession of the Arabs. The Saluki has a highly developed hunting instinct. Though a very old breed, the Saluki was not seen in Britain until 1840 and not officially recognized until 1923. Here we see the Saluki. There are two possibilities of the origin of the name that it was taken from. One goes the Arabian city of Saluk, or from the town of Salonikia in ancient Syria. The Saluki is highly sensitive, intelligent, and extremely affectionate to those he loves. And now we see the Sloughi. This breed was judged by Dr. Goran Bodegard, and there was an entry of 23, from which he selected this bitch as best of breed, and her exhibit number is 21258. This is a breed which comes from the deserts and mountains of North Africa, having existed there for many centuries as a typical working sight hound. Here we see the Sloughi. Though the breed has been on the European show scene for many years, it only in the latter part of the 20th century that the Sloughi has been seen and known in Britain. A dog which is affectionate towards owner and indifferent to strangers. Finally on the table, we see the Whippet. This is the breed that had the highest entry in the Hound Group here today, with an entry of 418. There were 2 judges. Males were judged by Mrs. Marion Spavin and bitches by Mr. Bob Fisher. This one is a bitch, and her exhibit number is 21622. For versatility and adaptability, there are few, if any, dog that can compare with the Whippet. His temperament is gentle and affectionate, and he loves the company of mankind and is equally at home in castle or cottage. Here we see the Whippet. Though the details of the origin of the Whippet are obscure, there can be no doubt that the breed was made in England sometime in the 19th century. The Whippet is highly adaptable in domestic and sporting surroundings. A dog of gentle, affectionate and even disposition. So there we see it, ladies and gentlemen. All the hounds from the Hound Group, 29 of them. Now the detailed examination of each exhibit is complete by Mr. Johnson. He will take another look at each of the best of breeds before selecting his shortlist. It is usual for a shortlist of 8 to be made before moving each of those selected for further examination prior to making the decision on his final 4. The eventual winner will be presented with the Send Gold Vase, which is a perpetual cup, but a smaller replica is also presented, which the exhibitor does keep. Mr. Johnson will move around the ring, selecting his shortlist. Starting with the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen, the Bloodhound, the Borzoi, the Irish Wolfhound, the Pharaoh Hound, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, the Saluki, and finally the Whippet. Will you please show your appreciation to those other best of breeds as they leave the ring and receive a shake of the hand by Mr. Johnson. Right, as is usual, I'm sure all these will be moved once again for further appraisal. And first to be moved is the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen, exhibit number 19096. And next, the Bloodhound, exhibit number 19521. And the Borzoi, exhibit number 19541. The Irish Wolfhound, exhibit number 20703. The Pharaoh Hound, exhibit number 20920. The Rhodesian Ridgeback, exhibit number 20955. And we see the Saluki, exhibit number 21206. Finally, but by no means least, the Whippet, exhibit number 21622. Out come the award boards. The examination's been done. And now a decision to be made. Another quick look along the line. The short list of 8. The winner of the Hound Group is the Whippet. Exhibit number 21622. Second in the Hound Group is the Saluki. Exhibit number 21206. And third is the Pharaoh Hound. Exhibit number 20920. And fourth, the Irish Wolfhound, exhibit number 20703. And can I ask you to show your appreciation to the other 4 shortlisted breeds as they leave the ring? Presentation of the trophy for the winner of the group is made by Mr. Bell Irving, who was escorted into the ring by Mrs. Esme Samuel, who is a Crufts committee member and a member of the General Committee. Mr. Irving's family for many generations have been masters of the Dumfriesshire Otterhounds. So to recap, the winner of Crufts Hound Group 2004 is the Whippet, exhibit number 21622. Second in the group is the Saluki, exhibit number 21206. And third in the group is the Pharaoh Hound, exhibit number 20920. And fourth in the group is the Irish Wolfhound, exhibit number 20703. And can I ask you to show your appreciation to our judge, Mr. George Johnson. left of armour by our winners.